Nuremberg, spring 1945. The city where the Nazi Party held its rallies lies in ruins. Amidst the rubble from their bombs, the Allies chose this as the symbolic site for an international tribunal where the chief Nazi figures that they had arrested would be tried. The Soviets, whose civilian and military losses ran to over 20 million, were not at all inclined to give the Nazis the benefit of a trial. The British, after some hesitation, decided to support the idea of equitable justice. But it was the Americans, geographically removed from the atrocities committed in Europe, who played a major role in the conception of this novel legal tribunal. President Truman appointed Justice Robert Jackson to set it up. Teams were sent to Europe to find evidence and conduct preliminary interrogations. One of the few buildings to have been spared in the bombing was the courthouse. And it was there, on November 20th, 1945, that the trial began, barely 6 months after the surrender of the Third Reich. To draw the widest possible public attention, the Allies introduced a unique plan to film key parts of the trial and to call upon renowned film director John Ford to handle the task. Today, this extensive footage, for the most part never before seen, allows us to witness the powerful sight of the Nazis brought face to face with their crimes. Each of the accused was to occupy the same seating arrangement for the entire length of the trial, according to their degree of responsibility. Goering was thus the first to enter, followed by Admiral Dönitz, briefly president of the Reich in the days following Hitler's death. Rudolf Hess, whose departure for England in 1941 did not lessen his previous responsibilities, sat beside Goering. Admiral Raeder, the head of the wartime navy from 1935 to 1943, came in next. Joachim von Ribbentrop, Foreign Affairs Minister, Baldur von Schirach, head of the Hitler Youth, Wilhelm Keitel, Hitler's military chief of staff, Fritz Sauckel, promoted in 1943 by the Führer to the post of chief of forced labor in occupied Europe, Hjalmar Schacht, Minister of Economics from 1934 to 1937, Hans Fritzsche, radio chief to Goebbels, Walter Funk, Schacht's successor as economics minister, Konstantin von Neurath, Foreign Affairs Minister, then Protector of Bohemia-Moravia, Julius Steicher, a fierce anti-Semitic propagandist, Albert Speer, the architect of Nazi rallies in Nuremberg, who during the war became Minister for Armament and Production, Wilhelm Frick, Home Affairs Minister, then Protector of the Reich in Bohemia-Moravia, Arthur Seyss-Inquart, architect of Austria's annexation to the Reich in 1938, Hans Frank, Governor General of Poland, Franz von Papen, who contributed to Hitler's arrival in power and went on to become the Reich's ambassador in Turkey, Alfred Rosenberg, anti-Semitic theorist and minister for the Eastern Occupied Territories, Alfred Jodl, Chief of Staff for German Army operations, Ernst Kaltenbrunner, Heydrich's SS successor in 1943 to the post of head of the Reich's Supreme Security Office. What was their state of mind as the trial began? Time, at least, was on their side, as it postponed the day of judgment.